Well, hello there. Welcome back to Driveway. We've got ourselves a big welding stick here. We've got some very big TIG stick and a normal one. But anyways, we're doing a little welding of holes here. So let's just follow along and have a little fun. I've kind of been zapping this guy in. I'm going to hack it off so it's not so flipping long. And then I got another hole to plug. And then we got a couple more holes to plug. Too many holes in these here early emission stuff, but we'll get her taken care of one way or another. I can go hack this thing now. We've got those holes kind of plugged at least. Get a little more zapping. Alright. I can smell that there's oil embedded in a lot of these orifices. So we're going to let that cool off a little bit. Whole thing's getting kind of scorched. And we'll have to kind of mill down our bar a little bit for these two holes. Everything's still nice and toasty. Whether that's good or bad. That looks like it'll fit. looks like he'll fit. Give this one the tap-taparoo. I mean, that kind of could have gone better. There we go. See, perfect. First try. Well, it's pretty dirty, but let's just crank it on and blast her in. Alright, we pretty much got all the leading edges of everything. Since I know it's all sealed up from all sides, I am probably going to grind those things down, and if there's any little bit of gap, I'm just going to epoxy the kind of in the middle of it, because it's all backed by good aluminum strength everywhere. So that's pretty nice. So, fun part is, we've clogged up quite a few of these holes, and we still got 3 more. But I think I'm going to leave those there, because it looks like the intake manifold doesn't have any vacuum lines. So this will be a good setup to have. We'll have most likely a PCV set up here. We'll have to mount a brake booster on somewhere on one of these things. And then what else would we need? Vacuum reference maybe. Maybe we'll use one of them for idle air. That could be interesting. But anyways, that's pretty much that. I'm going to have to wait for this thing to cool off a little more so I can handle it. And then I'm going to fire up the grinder and we're going to touch up some of those spots. All right. Well, there it is. Not too bad. Got her kind of ground down. Looking pretty decent. Got those holes filled. Transitions pretty well in there. There we go. Get some light in there. Not a bad transition. Got a couple like divots up here, but honestly I don't think that's gonna do much for us because we're not asking for 18,000 horsepower out of this thing, so it should be perfectly fine. Now the big reason I was doing this is this piece from an older F-150 mounts the throttle body facing forward on the intake. So the other ones were sideways, so I went to like the passenger side, which is fine for some things, but On this particular application, I've got the gas pedal linkage, which is pretty much a straight piece of metal. So I need to get my throttle facing front to back. Can't have it running all around unless I want to run a throttle cable through the entire truck, which I don't plan on doing. So that's why we're here. Anyways, this wasn't too bad. Only got a couple edges to finish up, but it's looking pretty nice. I shall run with it. Ain't perfect, definitely not a CNC neck, but for the price, this is killer. Anyways, that's about it for today. So we'll just get rolling from there. Anyways, thanks for stopping by and watching. Hopefully we'll see you again later.